Aries. So you guys got to go last time. So this time you guys will go first. Happy fall. It's October 1st. I'm doing the readings October 1st because I'll tell you why. I see basically anywhere between, I want to say 2 weeks and 3 months. That's like how far I'm able to kind of predict. And the stuff that I'm really good at, I mean, I can predict things, but the stuff I'm really good at is like getting to what's going on really with you. And that's not really about a timeline. That's something you can change, you know, overnight with the right understanding. So, also what we're going to do. So a lot of people have been asking, you know, if maybe I could make a video about me and I could tell you more about me, and I don't know, maybe that's a little cheesy, you know, if I just like, hey, here's a video, you know, I don't know. I think I spend too much time in Denmark to be okay with that. Like, I just feel a little bit silly. So throughout each video, I'll tell you a little bit about me that I think, as your sign, in your case Aries, that you would like to know, that would be the same between you and I. So stuff in Aries would like to know. Okay, and at the same time, I'm going to keep shuffling for your love life. Oh my God, Aries, you have been causing a lot of pain. Nothing quite like an Aries who doesn't know which direction to go in. But now it looks, that was last month, but now it looks like you have found some direction. I see that. I see that the horses are all pointing the same way now. I'll show you the cards in a minute. So let's see. Just in terms of your planets and what's going on with you, and what I already see here, there are very clear messages for you. And they're coming through quickly. Okay? It's easy for you. I think last time was much harder for you, because when an Aries doesn't have direction, that sucks. But this time, yes, you've hurt people, and yes, you have been impatient. You have made people feel bad about themselves. You have been indecisive and impatient at the same time. But now, it looks like your horses are all starting to go in the same direction, and what I see you struggling with now is something different. Now the struggle becomes something more elemental to an Aries. What are people going to say? Because, you know, there's always the worry that if you go against what people say, you might end up super duper miserable. But Aries has been thinking about it. And what seemed like indecision and like impatient indecision, like almost like a cold meanness while you're trying to make up your mind, and when people push you, ooh, don't push an Aries who's trying to make up their mind. In particular, I gotta say, ladies, no, don't do that. If you're dealing with an Aries man, oh my God, if you're dealing with an Aries man, I highly suggest you get like you do my guided meditation on the channel, because you're trying to push someone who can't be pushed. So, Aries, there's a lot of earth here. And what I want to say to you is that your love life is very connected to other things you're doing right now. And that doesn't necessarily have to be work. This doesn't necessarily have to always just mean work, career, money kind of stuff. And it's not always just an earth sign. This can also be something you're doing for charity, something you're giving away, something you're helping with. This earth sign energy a lot comes up for me when it's a Virgo. And Virgos are very, very, very helpful. They make really, really good friends. So I feel like your love life is now beginning to mature in a way where you're leaving this pain and this misery behind. And I'm not sure if you're leaving someone behind with all this yet, because no one else is coming up in this reading as being all that important. This all seems like your energy to me, but if it is somebody, then it's not anyone who's gonna stay. This is more just about you. I don't see this month being really about anything except you coming to terms with some basic stuff after doing something that maybe Aries doesn't do enough. Which is, you've been pushed into some situations that have made you really have to think about what's going on, and what's been going on, and what kind of influence you've been exerting. I think after a long while now, Aries, things occurred last month that made you finally become introspective, which is no judgment here. It's just not your natural state to be this way. Whereas, for example, a Scorpio kind of lives here. You understand what I mean? So it's very cool that whatever the situation was, whoever was pushing you, whoever was trying to force you, even if it was this, earth sign who was trying to force you, or someone who was making you, stubborn like an earth sign, whatever it was that propelled you into this place, or if it was just you that got super, super hurt, that propelled you into this place, regardless, however you got here, the myriad possibilities that might have brought you here, you have conquered this misery kind of sentiment here. You've conquered this, right? And the way that you've done it is with this power that you very rarely use, and that power is your power of passionate focus, which up until even last month, you didn't know which way to direct this incredible energy of a ram. What good is a ram if it doesn't know which direction to ram in? You know what I'm saying? So at least you picked a direction. At least your horses are all going the right way. Sure, I see here the latent, what seems like indecision. I see here that you have not been the nicest to people during this time. I see that people haven't been the nicest to you either. I see that you're coming out of a hard period, but you know what? It's fall. Things are changing. The way things are aligning for you in terms of planets and in terms of what your different houses are doing, this all makes sense to me. You're coming into a time where you really get to now focus. This earth energy is really about picking a direction and going right into it. Nose to the grindstone kind of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's time for you now to have decided which way to move, and now it's time to move. And I see that anyone who is going to survive this sort of speed, the speed you're going to pick up here in October, I see anyone who's going to emotionally make it through that with you, because I see no one so far, is someone who is somehow related to this feeling of success and accomplishment with, the community, the society, the world, work. It's someone who's keeping up with you, Aries, in that way, in your career, in your work. It's someone that you can see yourself forging not only a love relationship with, but also someone who is beneficial to you in terms of your career and your pursuits and your, charities and your interests, whatever it is, your hobbies, whatever it is. You really want someone. You're coming into a point. See, what happened here, Aries, is that because you usually don't do this, because this is not your natural state, when you do it, it's very powerful because you do have the power of focus and speed. You have those horns, and when, rams get going at each other, boom, they know exactly what they're doing. So you have the power, and you used it, and you found out some pretty interesting things about yourself. You found out some, some good stuff. And you're ready now with this knowledge to kind of focus on what needs to be done. You're ready to focus. You're ready to take these potentialities, 1, 2, 3, and plan and think and be done with all the mess in your mind and just pick a direction and look that way. And then turn that 3 into more victory. Right? Direction. Aries finds direction in October. And that makes sense. You weren't going to stay stagnant and wounded forever. It's not your nature. But that is, of course, no judgment to if you are still wounded, if you are still recovering from something, if you are still wounding other people. So let's see. What about what happens now in relation to an Aries? Should we do that? If you're in love with an Aries, if you're dealing with an Aries, what do you need to know? What do you need to be aware of? Because this reading's pretty clear cut. Aries is going to focus on themselves. They don't really care about anybody right now. Sounds pretty accurate. They've picked a direction and they need to focus because they've been a mess up until recently, and their planets are coming into a place of focus for them, and they were feeling stagnant and uneasy already last month. And a lot of people were pushing them from every direction. So it just makes sense to me that this month they would just pick a direction and be like, boom, I'm gone. So I will say this, that without even any of the cards coming out for people who are in love with Aries yet, I will say this, don't take it personally. What they're doing really doesn't have as much to do with you as you think it does. It really doesn't. It's not about that. It's not about you. It's not about love. It's not about any of those things. It's about this. It's about culture and society and what's expected and what they can do and what they can produce and what they can accomplish. And, this is accomplishment. This is living up to what the society wants from us. And no matter what an Aries tells you, that is extremely important to them. So if you're on the losing end of this, I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it. It's just, I see it here, right? Especially if you're a water sign dealing with an Aries, I'm sorry. I apologize that they've been turning your world upside down. If it's any consolation to you, they really haven't known until recently, how they've been acting. Not a lot of self-reflection goes on with an Aries, but like I said, now that they've done it, and we're all sorry collectively for them that they turned your world upside down. That's coming through very clearly. Aries, if you're messing with the water sign, please be careful with them. They're very sensitive. They get hurt really, really, really way easier than you do. And now that you know, now that you've been thinking a little about how you are and who you are and really, getting to know yourself better and feeling good about who you are, just remember to be kind to those who are not as strong as you. You see here? Let's start this fall in a really loving way, Aries. Let's be kind to those who aren't as capable as we are, who aren't as strong, who aren't as in control of their emotions. Let's be understanding and what? Compassionate. Right? Let's be kind to those who maybe haven't figured out their direction yet, just like you hadn't last month. Okay? And if you're this water sign, I'm sorry I didn't do the water fire readings yet. Just have had a lot of water and fire people needing readings. So very little time to make videos. I'm so sorry. But I see it here, and I see how you're thinking about leaving, and I see how you need to be strong to do that. And I apologize for everyone involved here. As someone who has a lot of Aries in their chart, especially in their love areas, I do behave exactly like this, so I'm also sorry for myself and for the water signs in my life that I know that I have not been very nice to. But for Aries themselves, Aries, it looks like, aside from doing some karmic housekeeping here where you need to take care of people who are being, they are really being hurt by you. Aside from that, it really is time to lose this indecision and focus on where you know you're going here. And that right now doesn't have a whole lot to do with love. And I feel like that's very healthy for you, because anyone who takes this journey with you is someone who's not into you just to be into you. Because it's very easy to be into an Aries just to be into them. You're dynamic, you're charming, you're fun, you're lively, you're passionate, you're up for stuff, you love taking risks, it's all good, But you want someone who's in it. This is what we're after here, right? And so you want someone who can take this career, society, all this journey with you as you become this better person. Remember to do this, okay? And then you have all this that you stand to gain from taking this journey with someone who understands how important it is for you to accomplish things and how important it is for you to move, Aries. Remember, Aries doesn't care which direction it moves in. You don't care if it's backwards or forwards, you just need to move. And recently you haven't felt like you could move, and now finally there is a flow, there is a direction. We are done with this. This was great. We learned a lot. But we're done with it. We're certainly all done with this, which is why we had to walk away from this. I understand why you did, because it was consuming you too, and it's not your nature, and you had to get away from it. I get it. And now we're heading towards this, and anyone who's willing to take this journey and be strong with you here is the person you end up with here, okay? So look in terms of work, career, accomplishment. That's where you will find the person who's really right for you, right? And always here, Temperance is kind of what I always read this card as, even though it's not the Temperance card. Yes, celebrate. Yes, have a great time. Yes, you will come across the person that you love in this kind of work, after work, celebratory, I'm doing great at work, let's go out and have fun environment. These cards came out together. One was just upside down over here. But just, responsible. We have a direction now, okay? We have things to do. So, not too much of this. Because you need karmic energy to be able to manifest the things that you want to do right now. And alcohol is not, I'm just saying, alcohol is not the best thing for that. For what you're trying to do energetically right now and the focus that you have right now. So just, it's just a little message. Don't lose that. And again, be very cognizant of the people you're hurting, Aries, in these moments of indecision that you were having. And I see that it was your own pain that you were going through. I get it. I'm just saying that since that time is over for you and you're doing better, okay, so now it's time to Let go of all the old stuff that's been holding you back from intimacy. All the old stuff that you were just sure would happen again and again. And realize that you've done a lot of thinking. And for a lot of you, maybe for the first time, really done it. And that you don't have to hold on to this and say, oh, this is going to happen again, or this is my... No, we need to let go of those old emotional wounds. We need to not have this energy. You see, because you can't have this forward motion here that you really want, that takes you where? That takes you here. You can't have that, all that movement, all those horses with this. Can you do those two things at the same time? No, you can't. Okay? So the message is, don't do this. And also, if you've hurt someone and made them do this as well and put them in that place, be kind to them. Because they're really hurting and they need strength right now. And you have a lot of it. So be kind, be compassionate. Alright? Now you gotta wait almost till the end next time. For November. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good October. Bye, Aries.